Clapping
Oh,
in three, two. You're not ready, are you?
I'm ready.
All right, clapping in three, two, one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of the Look Around podcast, the show we look around the world for the world's entertainment. I'm a host, Carl Sell.
And I'm the other host, Bailey Roy.
Very good. Today we'll talk about Robocop, the original Robocop trilogy. Did you see these before we
Yes.
watched this for this?
I had partially seen the first Robocop, not entirely.
I
But other than that, I
remember.
haven't seen
Yeah, sorry.
any of them up until this review.
Yeah, Sam. I
Well,
I'd seen the
review.
I'd seen the reboot before this, and I remember as a little
Actually, no,
kid
yes.
I
Sorry, I
saw
have
the
seen
the
the
third one.
reboot, the 2014 reboot. But we're not talking about that
No, we're not.
today, thankfully.
Um, this first one, we'll talk about the first one. We're gonna go in order, of course. I like this a lot.
Phenomenal.
This first one, it's so good, right?
It is hands down one of my favorite action movies ever.
Yeah. Oh,
It is
spoilers
such it
alert!
is an
Spoilers, by the way,
amazing
guys. Sorry.
piece of film.
Um, yeah, it's fucking,
Truly spectacular.
it's great. It's like it's got everything you want from a '80s action movie.
It does extreme violence, a cool idea for the main character,
It's got the three Bs of an
an
80s, 80s,
intimidating
80s
bad
Bs.
guy.
The three Bs
Hell
of
yeah.
'80s action: blood, bad language, and boobies.
Wait, was there any in RoboCop, the
Yeah,
first
at the
one?
start, I remember. Because I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on there? Because there was
When?
like, I don't know, it caught me off guard because I was like in a changing room with males and females in the one room. And there was fucking tits in my eyes. I was like, whoa.
No, man, there wasn't any boobies in the first movie.
I'm pretty sure that I very remember
Actually, I don't remember seeing them. I may have looked away
this.
out of respect.
You may have looked away. Your mum was watching with you. She covered your eyes.
No.
No.
No, but anyways, so before watching these films, before watching the first RoboCop, what was your initial thoughts?
Um, I was kind of basing it on what I remember from the reboot, which I saw. I was like, the reboot was okay. I thought. So I was like, it's either going to be okay or it's going to be better than the reboot. And it was like light years ahead of the reboot. It was so good. It was just, I don't know. It was cheesy. Had great like one-liners. It was perfect. I thought. I don't really have many flaws of this film. I thought. What about you?
Oh yeah. I knew it was gonna be good. I just didn't know how good it was gonna be. Oh, I was blown away by the end of it. Such an amazing film. Like well written and some of like the theory that was confirmed by the director himself. It's great. It's great. But let's actually get into our thoughts after the film, shall we?
Yes, I've written here. I've got in my notes.
So,
It has. Sorry, I just want to bring this up because my
mm,
favorite, one of my favorite scene in the movie is just so over the top. It's so good. Like at the start where they're in the car chase, right? The main bad guys and the Robocop Robocop, what's his name? Murphy. He's just driving with his partner or whatever. And
yeah.
the main bad guy, just the perfect delivery, best line ever. Just goes, "Can you fly, Bobby?" And he just chucks the guy at the fucking van.
Oh yeah, I
That's the
wrote that
best.
was my first note when I like started taking notes for this movie. Was "Can you fly, Bobby?" Such an
It's
amazing
so
line.
good. Just chucks him out
Such
and
an
dies.
amazing line.
There were some other good ones. I just forgot to write them down though. Other one-liners, but that was
Oh,
my favorite one though.
obviously there's Dead or Alive. You coming with me?
Yeah,
Your move, creep.
you're
Um,
fired. At the end,
um, oh,
just
I'm
good
not going to
stuff.
arrest you anymore.
Yeah,
That's another good one. At the end of the movie, what's your name, son? Murphy. Oh, so good.
dude.
So good.
Um,
But
there's a bit after he becomes RoboCop that I was pissing myself. It was so funny. There's like this, like there's a bit he goes to
mm,
he's like going around just taking on criminals. Like the minute he becomes Robocop, whatever. And it's like the two guys, and they're like, they
Yeah.
got this girl cornered, and like they cut her hair, and he's like, she's got more hair somewhere else, and he's like, ah! And he like just dives into a squirt.
Oh
And
yeah,
Robocop just
some of
shoots
the
him.
laughing in this movie from the actors is absolutely
It's awesome. It's
ridiculous.
so good. It reminds me of
Absolutely ridiculous. It's hilarious.
It reminds me of. I don't think you've seen them, but the Toxic Avenger movies, just ridiculously over the top
No, I
villains.
haven't seen that.
Oh, you're missing out.
Mm.
But dude, it was just heaps of fun. The villains, especially, it's just laughs to be had, and spectacular action for
Oh,
an
so
80s
many.
film.
Oh yeah, the way that they handle the action in this film, spectacular. Hands down one of the best scenes is when RoboCop goes to confront Clarence at that like cocaine packing factory area, and he's just walking around pulling these ridiculous poses
Yeah,
as he's shooting everyone around him. So amazing.
the pose is very Han Solo esque. I thought, like
Oh
gun
hell yeah,
aimed,
man!
hand up in the
They're just
air.
so good, just so good.
What do you got any notes?
It has to be one. That has to be my favorite scene.
Yeah,
Huh?
you got any notes?
Yes, about the theory that was confirmed by the director Paul Verhoeven, I think his name is. I could be wrong. So the whole this theory, I'm not sure when it came out, but it was essentially saying that the RoboCop was a Jesus Christ from Nazareth story,
Oh, what?
which was confirmed by the actual director himself. And I've got a couple quotes from him, which I'll read a little later on after describing this theory. But essentially, it says that Alex Murphy is a Jesus type character being crucified. Um, in the theory, him getting his hand blown off by Clarence is meant to symbolize one of the nails that Jesus took in his hand when he was, being put up on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he's being rebuilt in the OCP laboratory, he gets, his left arm was perfectly fine, but they say to throw it away. That's meant to be the other nail. Um, his helmet is meant to be like a crown of thorns because relatively his face is perfectly fine, but I don't know about that because like it's a little bit of a harder sell
Still a little bit
than
mangled.
everything else. Oh yeah, and when he's being shot down, um, at the start of the movie, like he endures all those shotgun blasts for so much longer than he actually was, and then obviously at the end of the movie when he literally walks like over water, and gets that like a giant piece of rebarb through the chest is meant to be when Jesus got like stabbed as well. But I'll read those quotes from the director now. So he says the point of RoboCop, of course, is it is a Christ story. It's about a guy who gets crucified in the first 50 minutes, and then resurrected the next 50 minutes, and then is like the super cop of the world, but is also a Jesus figure as he walks on water at the end of the movie. He also goes on to say, "I put something underneath the water so that Weller could walk over it and say that wonderful line, 'I'm not arresting you anymore,' meaning I'm gonna shoot you." And that is, of course, the American Jesus.
That's interesting. I
It's
didn't
why
hear that
they
before.
sorry.
I hadn't heard that before about this movie. Didn't even.
No, yeah, I'd heard it once or twice while like perusing YouTube and all that stuff that it was a Jesus story, but never went too into it.
Yeah,
But
right.
obviously, I went into it a lot after watching the. Actually, I think I delved into that theory when taking notes after I watched the second one, but it was still like really interesting to read all these quotes from the director
Yeah, right.
and
Well,
such,
I suppose that answers one of
which, in my
my
opinion,
top
makes the
points
movie
then.
just even better.
Yeah, right. Well, if this is so, what you like, he's supposed to be Jesus or what?
No, he's meant to be like an American Jesus, not actual. Like he's not like a reincarnation of Jesus of Nazareth,
Yeah, right.
but it's just meant to be like similar stories. And I think a couple years later, the director Paul Verhoeven went on to write a book about Jesus of Nazareth,
Oh, did that Jesus carry a gun as
which I
well?
don't think was like a. I don't know. I've never read the book. I just knew that he wrote a book after making RoboCop about Jesus.
Fair
What
enough.
is in the book? I've got no idea.
Well, I suppose that kind of helps solve one of my
But
plot
yeah,
points, which I've got
such
written
a
there,
such a
which is
phenomenal
just
movie.
yeah. I've got written here. Well, I suppose that Jesus thing kind of
Mm.
helps out, but I just written here. How does Murphy survive? Because he gets like destroyed with bullets, and he gets shot in the face directly after.
True.
And
Yeah, especially after that one to the head. That's
yeah, that one I was like, what?
quite implausible.
Now that I know we didn't rewatch the reboot for this, but that's one thing I'd liked more about the reboot than the original. Straight away was how Murphy, like the reason why he has to get put into a machine, and that in the reboot it's like an explosion, like he gets bombed or whatever, and all of his
Mm.
salvage from it was his hand and some
Oh,
organs
yeah.
in his face, and this is just like I refuse to believe that he lived through all that. Oh, of course, it leads to a great movie, but like, it just like that makes no sense. There's no way. It's weird that
No,
I can buy him turning into a cyborg, but I can't buy him surviving 1,000,001 gunshots.
a gunshot to the head.
Yeah,
That's fair enough. Well, who knows? Maybe the movie actually takes place in Alex Murphy's dying moments, because the whole they say when like you're about to die or dying, your life flashes before your eyes, you hallucinate, etc., etc.
yeah, right.
So maybe he was never really RoboCop. Maybe it all just took place in his head. I mean, obviously there is absolutely no evidence to prove that, and it would kind of ruin the movie
And
for
then
me at
what? So
least.
when we get to the third movie, he's just in hell. That would be so fucking awful.
Yeah,
He's just in
exactly.
hell, dude.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. No. One scene I want to talk about in particular is the toxic waste scene at the end of the movie when Clarence and his goons are chasing after RoboCop, and
Yeah, right.
RoboCop's just walking around like a pimp. Like, you don't care that these
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
have like these high-powered rifles that can explode cars. And then, what was his name? Emil drives like RoboCop like baits him into driving his van into a
He,
vat of toxic waste,
yeah,
and then
and
he
he
comes
comes out.
out
He's like,
melting.
ah! He's like melting and shit. Oh, it's
Dude,
so good.
oh my god, it's so good. The visual effects for this movie are phenomenal. Like at this, like leaving the toxic waste scene for a hot second, but like at the start of the movie when you see Ed Tuner, 209, and he guns down that dude. Oh, I love those effects.
Oh, that reminds me that from the start when they show off that big robot at the start, and then like it locks onto the guy even when he puts the gun down. I love how he's like running around. Everyone's just pushing him out of the way. Just like fuck off. That guy's gonna
Oh
shoot
hell
us,
yeah.
dude. It's so funny. Oh, it's good shit.
Oh, it's so. Oh god, such a great movie. Such a great movie. And actually, I loved Ed 209, like with all like the animalistic roars they put in to like make this giant menacing monster seem even more so.
Yeah, yeah,
And I loved the stop motion animation for him as well. So good,
yeah. Big time.
so good.
You can't. I know, like people look at it now like, oh, that's old as shit, but like I still love it. I still love like seeing like stop motion stuff in movies because it's like, oh, look at that. That's how they did it. Epic. There's still stuff in
Oh
this
yeah,
where I even go
stop
like,
motion.
how do they do that? Even now, like I was just like, whoa, like that, like the
Yeah,
Robocop suit where his like
it's
face is like kind of over the. I know it's like makeup, but it looked really like just great.
yeah, it's just phenomenal. Going back to that toxic waste scene, did you notice like um when he like goes to ask his friend for help and like scares the shit out of him, he's like the flesh around his thumb had like melted off the bone.
Oh, did it? I didn't see that.
Yeah, man. They had like his thumb bone sticking out with his like thumb like peeled back behind it like a banana. Oh, gnarly.
It
And he
was
gets
weird because
hit by Clarence's
that
car.
makes sense
Oh,
because I
it's
was
just
confused of why that
gross.
gorilla came and took a bite out of his thumb. I was like, what?
Oh my god. No. Anything more to add on the first RoboCop film?
I've got written in my notes here. The dude who plays Clarence looks like he could be Bill
Mm.
Hader's dad. Like he looks just like Bill Hader, if you know who that is.
No, yeah, I know who Bill Hader is, but I'm trying to picture it, but nah, I don't think so.
I thought he looked very similar to Bill Hader. I was like, that guy looks like Bill Hader's dad. He could be Bill Hader's dad.
No,
Not related at all.
no,
Just looked very similar. I
looks
thought they did.
nothing like Bill Hader.
Nah, well, you're wrong then.
Absolutely nothing like Bill Hader.
Well, let me just go through my notes real quick. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't got anything else. I just really enjoyed the movie. I didn't take many notes because I was just kind of like just watching it, having a good time. I wrote more notes for Robocop 2 than
Yeah,
I did for
no,
Robocop 1.
I to be honest, I didn't write any notes for the Robocop
And why is that, Bailey?
2 and 3. I did not like them. I didn't like them whatsoever.
Well, let's
Not
just
one
move
bit.
into Robocop 2 then, because I kind of liked Robocop 2. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was just okay.
No, I hated it.
You hated it?
No. No, I hated it. Not as much as number 3, but I did not like it whatsoever.
Oh,
They should have just stopped at number 1. I mean, at least it still had that seriousness that they created in the first film
mm-hmm.
and like turned it up a notch. I did kind of like that, but just the overall plot of like, new drug on the streets, and then the what was his name? Kane, the dude that was making it.
Yeah.
Like, like he gets captured, but then he also gets put in RoboCop 2, like the
the second
RoboCop
machine,
2
whatever.
that OCP are trying to build. Yeah, and that face, the screen that he had on the face.
That looks
Do you
awful.
remember?
I can't defend that one. That's
Dude,
really early
oh my
days CGI, and it
god.
looks atrocious.
Yeah,
Like
they shouldn't
I'm
have done
fine with
that.
like stop motion and all that, but that awful CGI face is like, and then like because when he shows up,
it was
like
stupid and
that
unnecessary.
screen comes out, and that woman is like, "Oh my god, is that you, Kane?" I'm like, "How the hell could you tell who that was? That looks nothing like a person."
Yeah,
It looks horrible.
That looks nothing like the actor.
I know, it's horrible.
It is. God.
Interesting bit about
And that
Robocop
stupid
2.
kid actor as well.
I thought he did
in the
alright.
second one.
Yeah, look, that what I'm about to say
I
kind
mean,
of
like,
leads
yeah,
into
he
this.
didn't do a bad job, but I didn't like him.
Yeah, my note here kind of leads into this. Is the first Robocop, at least here in Oz, is rated R18. The second one and the third one are rated M. So it's significantly toned down, and you can kind of immediately tell that with like this kid who's like
Oh yeah,
a
there
main
was
part of the
such
film.
a lack.
Because I think when did this come out? Like 1990, I think. In between the first Robocop and the second one, I'm pretty sure a Robocop animated series had come out, and then there was a toy line based on it. So immediately the second and third one
An animated series.
Yeah, like a cartoon for kids. It spun off an R18 film, which is baffling to me. But yeah, so they started like selling toys, and you could kind of instantly tell, especially in the third one, that they're kind of like, let's make this.
Oh yeah.
And we can make toys off of it and sell that. So it does immediately kind of have a drop in quality. I still think this one's okay. There's still a lot about this one that I liked, but in comparison to the first one, it's very like it's not as good.
Yeah.
No. Immediately, one of the things that stands out to me, like the first couple of minutes of this movie, I was like, I still enjoy this. Like immediately, oh no, it's not as good. I wrote here at the start, there's a guy that robs an old lady after helping her across the street. Like that's just how crazy the city is. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah.
I pissed myself. He's like, it's alright, lady. Come on. And then just
Yeah,
rips her
no,
bag
I did enjoy that whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy that whole opening scene of seeing Detroit in like a worse state of decay than it was before.
Oh, it's great.
Oh. I did actually like the end scene, scene at the end between RoboCop and Kane in the RoboCop 2 body. Granted, the stop motion was a little more obvious, but it was pretty nice.
No,
I enjoyed it.
I feel like that went on for a bit long, and it was very jarring that it kept switching from stop motion to then a real shot of Peter Weller in the suit, and then
Mm.
he just didn't feel like because he can't move very much in that suit, and then it goes to stop motion, and he's like
Yeah.
walking up around this robot and punching it in the face. I'm like, that doesn't look as good. It was very kind of distracting, I guess.
It was, but I still enjoyed it.
Alright, here, there's a cool effect when after the bad guys they take him and they dismantle him and they drop him off, and he's like, he's kind of like this torso moving around. It's an animatronic, clearly, but I still thought it looked really good. He's just kind of like, you're like, or whatever, just on the ground, like flailing around with no legs.
Yeah.
The first, okay, so there's a bit where they first introduce Robocop 2. They show off the test runs and stuff. I thought that was really funny. How all of them just kept like killing people or like maiming, like taking people's arms off and shit. When they're trying to when they're trying to show off the second Robocop. Do you remember this scene?
No, I don't think I do.
Well, there's a bit where they're showing off prototypes for a Robocop 2.
Oh no, yes, I do. That's right. I remember what scene you're talking about when they're showing off the prototypes.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's what I meant.
They're all going nuts and killing
Yeah,
themselves,
it's just
killing everyone around them.
just fucking up, and I was like, this is fun. It's still kind of goofy, a bit more goofy than the first one, but I still like this a lot.
Yeah, no, that was a funny scene.
They kind of explore more about
Is that all?
Murphy's family a little bit. Like he's like, you can sort of remember.
Yeah,
them.
I was expecting. Yeah, I was expecting they would them to do a lot more with that plot than just the 5 minutes they allocated it at the start of the film.
Yeah, they did that with all 3 of these. I really thought like this. I think they did this a lot better. Again,
No, they
in
didn't
the
mention Murphy's family at all in the third one. Not properly, at least.
I think they do a bit more in the third. But look, in all 3 of these movies, they barely address his family. In the first one, he goes back to his home that's empty for some reason. And then, I don't know, I feel like it's something they did better in the reboot. They actually showed his family and his relationship with his son.
That's right. The reboot focused more heavily
Yeah.
on the family relationship.
And then this is just kind of like, they're not existent. I don't even think you see his son. For a lot of this movie, until like maybe near the end, I thought the kid, like the little boy that was like the gangster or whatever, I thought that was Murphy's son. I don't know why I thought that.
Robocop's son.
I thought it was Murphy's son, like just being a villain. And he was like, "Oh, to go help my kid or whatever." But no, it's just some random kid. I was like, "Oh, I feel dumb." When I realized that, yeah. No, to be honest, I thought the kid was alright. I like how this movie had the balls to kill a little kid, even being pretty toned down.
Yeah, but it was off screen, and I wouldn't call it ballsy.
Well, they show the kid dying in Robocop's hands or whatever.
That graphic of a death or
graphic.
anything.
Like this whole movie is not very graphic, especially compared to the first one, where hands are getting blown off and stuff.
Yeah. Not wrong there.
What else have I got written here? Yeah,
I think that's. Yeah, I think that's all we can say on Robocop 2, really.
Oh,
let's
also real quick,
move on to number.
Before we go on to number 3, I really just kind of threw me off. Not really, because alright. So this second and third one, I don't know about the first one, but at least the second and third one are written by, or at least have a credit as writer by Frank Miller, guy who wrote the Dark Knight Returns comic back in the 80s.
Oh,
yeah. His stuff is like, it goes from being incredible bits of writing to awful. Like, it's a real mixed bag, that bloke.
To Robocop 3.
Yeah, he goes from The Dark Knight Returns to Robocop 3. Like, that's just how much his writing just drops and comes back and stuff.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a weird fact, coming from a couple of comic book boys.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, Robocop 3.
Oh.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's no good.
The one thing I hated most about this movie, he rarely uses his pistol.
Yeah, because he has like
Rarely uses his pistol.
that machine gun arm, which is clearly
That
used to sell toys.
Yeah, the machine, rocket launcher, flamethrower, fucking multi-tool for a hand.
Oh my god, this one
I mean,
severe.
that
Like, yeah, you go.
that was cool. It was cool, but it also what like it was just
I didn't think so.
cool to have like like it was cool to an extent, but it would have been much cooler to him for him to just be using his normal handgun, the freaking burst fire handgun that he's had in every single freaking film.
Yeah, yeah, the handguns are like a lot. I know. The instant I saw that he swaps his arm out for a machine gun hand, I was like, that was a toy. That must have been a toy.
Yeah.
And then they show off, oh, this is a
Oh
jetpack
yeah.
for Robocop to
I mean, like
fly.
at the start of the film, at the start of the film, you see an Ed 209 toy and a RoboCop toy
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
with that little kid.
it's like, you see, this is what we're doing with this movie. We're
Like this is
selling
obviously
toys
just an
in the film.
hour, and
It's a big ad.
yeah, it's just like a 2 hour long commercial.
It's no good. They used that I'll buy this for
That's it.
$1. I got so sick of it because I watched these like back to back or 30s, and I
Yeah,
was so sick of that. I'll buy
always-
that for $1 joke. I was like, oh my god, it's not funny.
Wait, no, they didn't use it in the second one.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They didn't
I
use it
remember
in the
hearing
second
it in
one
the
at all.
first one a little bit, and then it was overused a lot in the third
Yeah,
one.
they used it a lot. They used it. No, they only had it once in the third
I
one.
remember hearing it so many times, and I was like, I'm so fucking sick of this joke.
Nah, man, you gone crazy.
I know, well, just to be
Or maybe
fair,
I just wasn't
to be
paying attention to the film.
It could be that. To be fair, I watched these like a week or two before you did, so you probably have a better memory of them than I did. But I remember this. I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, no,
joke
I
being
literally watched the
sorry
third
about
one
it.
yesterday.
Yeah, I watched them like a week or two. Yeah.
Oh, actually, sorry. Let's quickly jump on back to the first two, the commercials.
They're
I
fun.
like the commercials.
Yeah.
They are fun, and my favorite commercial, which I don't even think there was any in the third one, but my favorite commercial is in the second movie, where it's a commercial for OCP,
Mhm.
and it's like the dude, like this guy is at his office and he's like really depressed that he bought like some wrong software or something, and then he kills himself, and then at the end it zooms into a picture of his daughter in the background and then says OCP, choose the right one or something. It's
I
fucking
don't think I wrote them
hilarious.
down, but I definitely do remember those ads being pretty funny. I remember in the second and first
Yeah.
one a lot, but in the third one I wasn't a big fan of them. I just weren't as I don't know. I don't remember why they weren't as good as in the third one. Maybe I was just sick of this franchise already. Just 3 movies in back to back. I was like,
I seriously do not think that there was any in the third one.
I do remember
at
seeing
all.
some, but I remember them just
At
not being
all.
funny.
Nah, I don't remember any. But then again, I wasn't paying attention
Hmm.
as hard as say the first or the second one.
I've got written on my notes for the third movie. There's at the start there's real, just crap audio mixing. Because like there's a bit where there's music playing and there's people talking with like a megaphone still. I could not hear what they were saying. The music was way too loud. Like the score of the film. And I
didn't notice that.
I did. I was struggling. I don't watch movies with subtitles. I don't like it. But I had to turn subtitles on to hear what she was to know what she was saying because the music was just so loud over the dialogue. It was like this sucks already. I was watching. Okay, so it takes a while before we see Robocop in this movie. I've written here it takes 20 minutes to see
Sorry, what was
Robocop
that?
in the third movie.
Oh yeah, he doesn't show up till like freaking half an hour into the movie.
Yeah, and the minute like this
Dumb.
millisecond he starts speaking, it sounds off. I was like, why?
Yeah, well, they
I don't
got a
know-
different actor.
Exactly. I didn't notice at the start. I was like, it just sounds weird. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Looked it up. It's a different actor.
I mean, I instantly knew that was a different actor.
I thought they must have
In the
screwed
third
around
film,
with the audio or something because this was after the bit where the music was still loud, and I was like, this audio sucks. But no, it's a different actor, and he's not as good as Peter Weller. I don't know what.
Yeah,
Just
no,
doesn't sound as
unfortunately not as good as Peter Weller.
Um,
I feel like, especially in the third movie, they made him way too robotic. Like, especially with his movements.
yeah.
Through that entire film, seeing him walk around, it looked like someone trying to do the robot on a freaking 80s disco floor.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous. Like, yeah, sure, obviously he's going to be robotic and have limited movement, but just
Yeah. This so again like
this was
with the
overselling.
second movie, this one's also rated M, so it's toned down. I don't know what this would have been
Mm,
in America, probably like PG 13, I guess. I don't know. But there's the
probably.
little girl that's throughout the entire movie. I
Oh
found her
yeah, she's
ridiculously
just
irritating, and it's like it doesn't make any sense. She's got a laptop so that she instantly knows how to dismantle and rebuild Robocop. Because like there's a bitch just like there's a tracker in Robocop. How do we do it? And she just goes, oh, it's in this panel on the back. It's like how do you know
yes,
that? And why is there a panel in the back easily accessible to Robocop's tracker?
yeah.
That's not smart at all.
It's no, definitely not.
Um, I got
Actually,
yeah.
there is one thing I do like about the third RoboCop film.
What's that?
Only one thing is that they made him look more like RoboCop than in the second film. In the second film, his armor was just like this vibrant bluey purple color.
I
Like,
didn't
and
notice that at
it
all.
could have potentially been the lighting of the film because there were a lot more. It was the second film was a hell of a lot more colorful than the first, but I distinctively remember that the first film it was a pure silver color with like a purple sheen in certain like a bluey purple sheen in certain areas when like light hit it the right way, and then like got turned up to 11 in the second one, and then they brought it back down color wise for his armor in the third one. But I think they did some different modeling with the armor pieces,
Yeah, I don't
if
know.
I'm not mistaken.
I didn't
It looked a little
I
different.
didn't notice this at all. I just thought they were all the same across all three movies. Like
No,
looking was.
not at all.
Um, over in here they make two suicide jokes within the span of 5 minutes. Do you remember this?
In which movies is
In
one?
number three, there's like
No, I don't remember
there's a
those.
bit like I think it's halfway through and like
Wait, no, I do. That's
yeah,
right. You're sorry. I'm sorry. I do remember the suicide jokes.
like two within the span of 5 minutes when the company's in shambles and like this guy just jumps out the window and then there's
Yeah,
a few minutes after the guy gets fired and he just pulls a
yeah.
gun
That
out of his jacket and shoots
that
himself
was
off
out.
screen.
Yeah, that was it was ridiculous. It was completely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That the dude jumping out of the window completely shocked me because I looked down at my phone for like a hot second, and then I saw this dude at a ledge, and I'm like, whoa, 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 what's happening? What's happening? Why is this man about to take his own life? He just swans dives off the building. Oh my god,
Um,
so bad.
so good. Uh,
Oh
yeah,
my
I've got written here.
god.
There's a bit at the start where he stalks his wife, and
Oh yeah,
that's the only time
really.
that comes up again. Because like she starts to think, like he remembers his wife. He goes to see her like aspiring or whatever, and she knows that it's Murphy, but Murphy like Robocop gets
Mm.
reprogrammed and goes, "Murphy's dead, you dumb bitch," or whatever he says. I don't remember. But and then that never gets brought up
Yeah,
again. She doesn't come back in the movie at all. It's like, why did you even bring that up?
yeah.
This movie's a mess, dude.
I don't know. To try to. It
I
is.
don't know.
Actually, no. I think that was in the second movie when that
No, that was
happens.
in the third. I remember.
You sure?
I think.
I could have sworn they did that in the second movie, and then
No, you're probably right. They get mixed up. I get me the second and third mixed
no,
up.
yeah, it was because it was Peter Weller that was still the actor for RoboCop in that scene.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably right. I guess
It
that's
was
what I
definitely in
know.
the second movie.
Well, either way, it doesn't get brought up again.
Oh, either way, just
So either way, it's no good. This
yeah,
third movie,
never gets.
I'm confused for who it's for. Like, is it made for little
Yeah,
kids? Because you get that, there's these bits that sell toys with the jetpack and the gun arm. Is it meant for adults?
yeah.
Because there's like the two suicide jokes back to back, and like, I don't know. I don't know who this is for. It clearly
It
wasn't made for
is.
me
It
because
is.
I
It's just
hated this. It sucks.
yeah, no, definitely.
Um.
I don't understand the ninjas as well that fight him.
Oh, that was
Those were
so dumb.
those
What
were
was the point of
horrible
them?
fights.
Oh, especially the one at the
Those
end.
were so bad.
I know they. And
Nah,
if
man, I hate the original Ninja Fight where he's just jumping around kicking him and he has no idea what the hell to do.
yeah, I wrote
Like I think that the actor that was playing RoboCop forgot that he was RoboCop and thought he was CP C.
C-3PO
Oh,
just
I
fucking barely
yeah,
moving.
because he's just like standing around going, "Oh dear, what do I do?" Like, "Oh my god, you're RoboCop! Pull out the gun that literally lives in your right thigh and
Yeah.
shoot him in the face."
Oh, dude. Um, about those
Oh,
samurai
actually, no, he
robot
does,
dudes.
but then the gun gets knocked out of his hand.
Yeah, I got a note here about
And then he,
the robot samurais. That throughout the film and the second movie, I think, they're like, we need to make a new bloody Robocop. We need to replace him with ones that are more that won't go rogue. They're more responsive to our commands. Just get these robots, these samurai dudes. Just replace Robocop with this guy.
yeah,
It's like, what are you doing? These guys are pretty good. They cut off hands and shit. Nah, we just let them blow up. What are you doing?
God.
There's a bit in this towards the end, I think, where Robocop steals a pimp's car.
Oh yeah, that was actually kind of funny.
That car is invincible.
To,
It like gets blown up like
Yeah,
six
I know.
times, and it just keeps driving. It's like, what is this? Secretly the Batmobile? Like, what the fuck?
Uh,
And it also drives into like, is this a kids movie? Why is there prostitutes and stuff? I
yeah,
don't understand.
God.
Um,
My most hated scene in the third film was at the very end when the was it the dude that was the new head of OCP was like, "Oh, Murphy, is it?" And then he's like, "My friends call me Murphy, but you can call me RoboCop." And it's like that completely ruins the character arc
uh,
uh, of what RoboCop, especially in the first film.
mm,
The first film was like the duality of like, well, am I a man anymore? Or,
no good. I don't like this one at all. I don't know what else
for
I could say
me,
about
for
this.
me, for me, that scene at the end of the third film really spat in the face of the incredible ending of the first film of the whole "What's your name, Murphy?" Oh,
This
such
whole
a
movie
disappointment.
spat in the face of the first movie. It just sucks. I
Yeah,
hated
it
everything
really
about it.
did. It really did.
I don't think I've got a positive note about this movie. Like, this just all sucks. I had a
Yeah,
miserable time watching it.
yeah, it was truly an atrocious film.
I don't think I've got anything else to say. Just awful.
Uh, yeah, I've got nothing else to say either.
Well, I guess that's it then.
Oh,
I guess we'll wrap this
well
up.
then, yeah. Thank you all so much for coming to listen to the first ever episode of the Look Around podcast. We hope that you come back for the other ones that we have
Yeah.
planned.
And if you're going to take anything away from this episode, don't watch Robocop 3. Or 2. You know what? Just watch the first
Or
one.
two.
Just watch number 1.
Just watch the first. Just watch the first and leave it at that. Pretend the other ones don't exist. Even the 2014 remake.
Oh, God.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Alright, see you guys.
Bye.